Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's episode of Suzie Q's Stamping 2 on Thursday. So we're going to do a live class. I forgot to flip my camera cover up, and I need to move my assistants. We got a different setup tonight. And so
I don't get any more room. I still get my little 2x2 square. Okay, gotcha.
Well, you can have more room. I just have to move my camera then. Because I did get some new camera stands. One for my light ring and then one for my camera. So I'm kind of excited about that. And of course, now everything is going to be changing with Facebook. So I won't be able to broadcast to YouTube at the same time that I broadcast to Facebook. So I am on YouTube. Let me see if I can get into my Facebook page so that I can then see those comments.
Oh, this is going to be comical. You're gonna keep track of comments on both sides and make a card.
Well, no, I'm not. No, I'm not going to necessarily be looking at the comments all the time. I'm just going to be glancing up at them. So we'll see. Okay. So we got that. And I can tell you, I don't know how it looks on your end, but I think it's my tablet that does not have a very good picture on it.
That looks fine.
I mean, I think on the computer it looks better, but I don't think my, what is the card called? My picture card. Well, hello, Charlene. How are you this evening? I'm glad that you have joined us. We'll give it a few more minutes. Well, hopefully some more people will join us tonight. I got to move my camera down just a bit. No. Right there?
Right there.
Okay. Oh, okay. I can see why she said no. All right. It always takes me a while to figure things out. Okay. So last week we made these two pretty cards, and the winner for these is Charlene. So congratulations, Charlene. You will get these. Hi, Anna. How are you this afternoon or evening, I should say? You're 2 hours ahead of us. And hello, Cherie. No, you're not 2 hours ahead of us. You are 1 hour ahead of us. And Cherie has joined us. So, Charlene, you will get these. And remember, I'm sending with it a little card that you can make a note on and then stick it to the back of the card. Oh, I did with that envelope that I had. I had an envelope. There it is. Have you ever felt like your head is rolling down the street without the rest of your body? That is how I'm feeling. I had to go to the hospital today and have, well, not to the hospital, but to the imaging center. And I had 3 tests done. So those are all done now for the next couple of years, I hope. All right. So anything new and exciting with all of you? I will say that because I had to cancel my monthly card class last Friday, I'm holding it tomorrow. So I will not have coffee, chat, and a card tomorrow morning at 10. That will be on Saturday. So Saturday, I will have coffee and a chat. All right. And Anna, just a heads up, because you're usually one of the few that are on YouTube. I don't know what I'm going to do when Facebook starts changing things, because that's supposed to happen around, the first part of April, middle of April. So that's going to be exciting. I get to learn all over again how I can broadcast to 2 different things, since Facebook isn't going to let us do that. All right, well, we'll just get started and we'll see if anybody else joins us. So I'm going to show you a really easy way to get a diagonal cut with your designer series paper. I seen this, it was with another demonstrator. I believe her name was Lynn Dunn. And I believe, I could not swear to that. But I thought, well, you know, that's really easier than trying to measure up and cut it off and all of that. Yes, I sent out an email, Cherie, when I sent out the host code for March. Okay. And then I am using this set, which is the Planted Paradise. And these do not come with any dies, but some of the leaves are really simple and the flower pots are simple to cut out. So I did fussy cut. So I'll be doing a little bit of fussy cutting. On the outside, I put just a note, and that comes from my Hi, Rosemary. How are you? I'm so glad that you've joined us tonight. Remind me where you're from, Rosemary, because I can't keep all the names and places and all that straight in my head. But the just a note comes from the Go-To Greetings, and I hope they leave this in the catalog when they put out the new catalog. Because I love this set. It's so versatile and in whatever greetings you want to say. And then for the inside of it, I have Enjoy Your Day. So this could be a birthday card if you wanted to make it a birthday card. It could be just a thinking of you card. You can write a personal thank you in it or whatever. So I am using the Pebbled Path. We'll set that out of the way. I am using Pebbled Path for my paper, my cardstock. And it is just a regular card, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Oh, how far away is that from, yeah, I'll ask you here in a minute, San Diego area or the, oh my gosh, my brain is just frozen.
I'll tell you in just a second.
Camp Pendleton.
Fallbrook.
Or Fallbrook. Fallbrook is where my grandson is living at while he finishes out his military. And then I have a piece of designer series paper, and this comes from the Poetic Expressions DSP. And you know, you gotta love vintage look for this paper because some of it is just not my style. I do like this because it's a small print, and that's on the back of this, which I'm not real fond of. So I do have one side to work with. Then I have this side, which is the blue with the little white dots stitching on it. And then the other side is this pink that has these, whatever you want to call it. Reminds me of the old-fashioned wallpaper that used to be in old houses. Then you have this paper, and on the back of it, you have some flowers. This isn't too bad. I wouldn't use this as a whole sheet, though. I would use this. Oh, Fallbrook's about 30 minutes away. Well, it's too bad I'm not coming to California soon because I'd stop in and see you, Rosemary. I wouldn't use this as a whole sheet, but maybe like what we're doing tonight would work. I don't know. This isn't too bad. I do like this. I think this would be a really pretty pattern to use. And then on the back of this, which I can live with this. This isn't too bad. It's the Moody Mauve. And then we have this, and the back of that is this. And I guess I didn't cut this piece. Oh, I know why I didn't cut this piece. Because I didn't have any more, because I've used it. So on the back of the paper that we're using tonight is this kind of swirl stuff that also reminds me of wallpaper from the 1900s, I guess. I don't know. It's not my favorite, but I don't mind this side. I think this side is kind of pretty. Okay, so we're going to have a piece of that, and I've cut this as if it was to be a card layer. So it's like 5.5 by 4.25, I think, just so that, and I do love these little flowers. I think these are very, very pretty. So that's on the back of the green. All right, so we'll stick that away. And I am using some retired gems today, only because I didn't realize that they were retired until I went to look them up and realized that they were retired. So you could use the champagne rhinestones, anything that's kind of muted, because that's the kind of colors that I'm using tonight. And I am using, for the inks, I'm using Moody Mauve, Pebbled Path, and Mossy Meadow. So let's get our stamping done, because then maybe I can ask my assistant over here. She could fussy cut for me. Maybe. I don't know. She might. Okay, let me see where. There it is. Is this going to fit on there? Yes, indeedy, it will. So I am going to stamp my flower pot, and I'm actually going to stamp it twice, because if you notice on the stamp set, it shows a detail plus a full coverage stamp on a lot of these. So what that is it's a 2-step stamp set, and I'm going to show you how we use that. So I'm going to start with the back side of the stamp, and I'm going to stamp that in Moody Mauve, stamped off one time. So I'm going to use the second generation for that. So I'm just going to ink up my flower pot, and I'm going to stamp it off on a piece of scratch paper and stamp it on just a piece of, you'll cut it for me, Pat? Well, that's really nice, but that means I'd have to walk it over there to you. And we're not going to do that. All right, so there's my light color. And now we're going to switch it over and do the detail on it in the dark. I'm not going to stamp off for it. And because these are the photopolymer, you can see through them. So hopefully I can get this lined up pretty good for us tonight without getting my head in the camera. All right, now that I've got my spectacles on, I can see a little bit better. I told Dorothy that I'm going to have to get her camera lights, her umbrella lights out. And she looked at me and said, well, just where do you think we're going to put them? I said, I don't know, but we got to figure it out. All right, so that's not a real good stamped image, so I'm going to redo that because I don't like that. So we'll flip it over again. And I think, even though I'm doing it on my glass mat, and I don't necessarily have to have a foam pad, I think because I want the detailed stamp to be really a good impression, I'm going to go ahead and put it on a foam mat to stamp it. Can't wait to show you guys the second card. Oh my gosh. I just love the fold on it. And I think you all are going to like it too. All right, there's our light side. And I know I'm getting me in the picture, but I have no choice. I'm going to flip it over. We're not going to stamp off on this one. And press it down good and hard. Well, thank you, Anna. I'm glad that you said that. You know, I don't know what is going on. I really don't, because I haven't changed anything. I mean, I still have the same camera. It's just on a different stand. And that one didn't turn out. You know, when I did this card earlier today, it was perfect. But of course, because I am on camera now, I can't get it to work. So, third time's a charm though, right? So we're going to just give it another try. And then we'll pick the best out of the three. I have not had a chance yet this week, and I know that sounds like a cop-out, ladies, but I have not had a chance to scan in all of my diagrams from the Super Stamping Saturday that I want to send out to you. So please be patient with me. I have had several doctor's appointments this week that I've had to be gone for, and then trying to get things prepped for the class, and we've had car issues. And no, you don't really make me nervous. I don't like when I mess up when I'm stamping on camera, but at least you all know that, you know what, I am not perfect, and so I do make mistakes. Well, that one's going to go with it. We're just going to go with it. It looks fine. And we're going to cut it out. And I cut it right up to the
dark pink or light pink?
Let's see, what did I do? I think I did it to the, no, I did leave just a little bit of a white around it. So that's our pot. We're going to use that flower pot.
Is it because your first one is too light? Is that what's giving you?
No, I'm not getting it lined up right because I'm not over it. I don't have it right down in front of my face. Oh, Miss Smarty Pants over here is going to try to do it off camera. So while she's doing that, I'm going to do our leaves. And our leaves are going to be done in Mossy Meadow. And I'm only going to stamp 2 of them. How many did I put on that one? 3, 4, 5. Yep. I only have to stamp 3 more because I stamped a couple of extra ones this morning when I made this card. So, oops, I didn't do it that way. I did not use the background stamp. So this is what the leaf background would look like if I stamped it. But I'm not stamping that part of it. I just stamped the detailed part. So let me flip that over real quick. And I got to get some more scrap paper because I didn't figure I'd have to do that 40 times. And I am just, you know, Anna, I don't know why it didn't go through to you. I really don't, because you were on my mailing list to get it. So I have no idea. But I will send you all of the instructions, and I'm sure that you'll be able to figure it out. So I'm going to stamp once, full strength, and then I'm going to stamp off to make a lighter one. So I've got 2 lights, 2 darks, and I'm going to have another dark one. Do this one. And as I always say, I never make 2 cards identical. Not even my swap cards for convention. The gems or the embellishments are not in the same place. So they are not identical. Okay, while we have the Mossy Meadow out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp our little leaves in for the inside of our card. And I did it with the lighter stamped off. See how well we can do this one. So we're going to stamp off that one. Put that down here at the bottom. Oh, my assistant, she's cutting out my leaves for me. I need all of those done, please.
Only because you got me coffee earlier.
Oh, because I got you coffee earlier.
I'm easily persuaded with coffee.
Okay. And then I'm going to stamp over that full strength. And it is a little bit off, but it looks okay. I'm not going to sweat about it because you know what? Flowers are not perfect. And neither is Sue. And that's okay. I accept that. So there is our inside. And our inside is going to have that enjoy your day. And that's going to be in the pebbled path.
Bestie's on.
My bestie's on. Is she on?
My bestie's on Facebook.
Sterling? Hello, Sterling. I can't see you. Oh, yes, I can. If I just, yes, I can see you because I've got two devices. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Is that going to stamp straight? No, it's not. How many of you put your stamp on your block, think it's going to stamp straight, and then it's just like a fraction of an inch off? So this I'm doing in the pebbled path. And wouldn't you know, I got just a little bit of green there. Let me see if I can get my sand eraser to take that off. So, Rosemary, are you a demonstrator or just a customer? Okay, it did take it off a little bit, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. All right, so we're going to put that away, clean this stamp, because you know me, I'm going to end up having
a eraser.
Oh, they want to see my eraser. Okay. This is just a sand eraser, and I got this at an independent scrapbooking store that we have down here.
It is on Amazon.
But you can get these off of Amazon. I believe they come in a 2-pack, and it's just called a sand eraser, and it's made by Tombow, and it does take away some of the ink. Now, sometimes the reds and the real dark colors are hard to erase, but you just have to kind of try it and see if it works for you. I've had a hard time with reds erasing, but it did take off some of that mossy meadow green for me. All right, so the inside of our card is done. She's getting my little embellishments. Let's do the front of our card, and let me show you how we are going to cut our paper on an angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place my paper here on whatever angle I want, and I want it to be like about there, okay? And I want to make sure that I have it over my cardstock, which is the regular base size of 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm going to glue that down. I want to make sure that my ad will make it fit. All right, so I'm going to just take and put glue on the bottom portion of my cardstock. I had my silicone mat out here earlier today, or was that, I don't know when it was. I've been making my swap cards for convention, and there was 50 of them. Okay, so I've just put my glue on an angle on my paper, and I stopped. And I'm just going to press that down. And then I'm just going to take my scissors, and I am going to trim off all of this excess paper. And I'm sure that I will find something that I can do with this paper. I'm not sure what, but I will find something because I don't like to throw big chunks of designer series paper away. So how is the weather in California and in Florida? I know I've got two of you in Florida tonight. Sterling's here with us tonight from Florida, and Anna. So Rosemary, you're a hobby demonstrator. Okay, good. You just like to play? I know I like to play too. I could spend all my time. Well, let me say this. I usually spend all of my time if I'm not going somewhere. And then I'm going to take some of our boho blue, which is the color of my cardstock here, and I am going to just cut it off, and we're going to put that on an angle on our card like that. And I am using, well, I used glue dots earlier, but I think I'm just going to use some adhesive to do this. So I'm just going to put my one side into the adhesive and flip it over, making sure that it's still even on my front, and put it down. And I've got totally missed it with my adhesive. And I'm just going to trim off that little bit of extra. I cut a little bit too much. So, all right. So that is how you can get a perfect DSP angle on a piece of cardstock. Well, you know what? We have been having weather that is just absolutely phenomenal in Missouri for February. We've been wearing t-shirts. It's gotten up in the 60s. I think today it made it up to 70, I think. I'm not sure. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere this down to my card base. Can't remember if I've asked this before or not. I know I've asked how much you use, but how many glue people do I have in here tonight? I like them both, but since this is kind of thick and I want it to really stick, I'm just using my adhesive. All right, now let's build our... Charlene likes glue. Cherie likes glue. We are going to build up our little pot that we have here. And all I did was take some of my Stampin' Seal, and I started building up my leaves. So I put a light one, and then I'm bringing in a dark leaf. And I'm going to do another dark leaf over here on the corner. And I'm kind of wanting to have them stick up straight because they're supposed to be like a succulent type thing, I believe. So that's why they're kind of sticking up straight. And now those two there, I'm just going to put some more adhesive on the back of the ones I've already put down. And there's one sticking up and it's stuck to my finger. And here's our other green one that's dark. Oh, now come on, don't you? Oh, did I not get you where it needs to be? Let's get you some tape on you. Then you can stay. Don't want to put it up too high because I noticed today that it was a little too high and it didn't fit on my card unless I tucked in the flower pot a little bit underneath my bow. Because I'm going to take a little piece of ribbon And I haven't stuck this down yet, so I've just put in my ribbon, and I'm just going to tie a little overhand knot. Trim off my tails and make this one go the direction I want it to go. There we go. I did have, what did I do with them? Oh, there they are. I'm using some glue dots that came in a paper pumpkin kit. I'm trying to get rid of some miscellaneous stuff in my room and my drawers. And I'm just going to take and put that little sticky dot underneath that bow. Take that adhesive backing off, and that way then I've got my bow attached to the paper, and I'm going to, just for added measure, I'm going to take another one and put it down here, just to make sure that that ribbon doesn't go anywhere and it doesn't shift. Okay, so that's that. Now we're going to take our flower pot and we're going to stick it down kind of underneath our ribbon, because again, they're kind of tall and I don't want them sticking out. I am going to use glue for this though, so that I can get it stuck up underneath that ribbon easier. So I'm just going to kind of lift that ribbon up a little bit, stick that flower pot right there with that bow kind of in front of it. And now I'm just going to kind of do some gluing so that my leaves do not catch like on the envelope and stuff, because that would make a terrible thing if your recipient opened the card and it pulled all those leaves out. All right, so there is our succulent leaves. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to stamp in Pebbled Path, just a note. And like I said, you could do this for any kind of a card, and boy, did I just not kiss that. I just got
squished.
I squished, not kiss. We're just going to clean it off and start again. Oh, it's going to start raining again out in California. Oh my. I do like the Tombow glue. I do like to put it in my precision bottle though, Rosemary, because I find that if I have it in just the bottle that it comes in, I use way too much. I'm just going to take, and hopefully not get every part of my head in the camera, and stamp just a note. And it's a little off, but the font is okay to be a little bit of off because it's kind of a swirly font. So, all right. So what do you think of this card? It's relatively simple to put together. Now for our embellishment gems. And like I said, these are the Faceted Gems Trio Pack. And I believe these were in and offered in the September to December mini catalog. But they had the gray ones. And so I wanted to use the gray sparkly ones. And so I'm just putting 3 of these on my card. And like I said, I don't make 2 cards identical. So I put my gems in a different area. I have a little bit more of the flower pot there. Now let's glue our inside down. And I think, what did I hear the other day on the news? We've only got like 20 some days till spring. And I'm like, yay.
Mommy, you got that ready to.
Huh?
Don't you have one to cut or to stamp? Because you've got
I did.
your Enjoy over there.
I already stamped it while you were
Fussy cutting?
fussy
Oh, okay.
cutting. I stamped it. Okay, so there is our first card, and this could be sent to a man or a woman, depending on who you need to send a little note to. Because I think that men enjoy getting cards just as much as the women do. I know my mom, Pat, she makes cards for her Sunday school class, and the men go Googling over them all the time. All right, I'm done with those inks. We can put those away.
You done with Moody Mauve?
I am done with Moody Mauve. For our next card, ladies, we are going to do a fun fold card, mixing two kinds of cards together. Oh, I cannot remember who I saw make this, but it was so intriguing to me, and I love the book fold card, and I know several of you do too that are in my classes. So we're going to combine a book fold card with a Z fold card. I am going to use of art and texture. I'm going to use a couple of these stamps. I'm going to use the tree and this saying, "Stay strong, my friend." And then I'm going to be using the trust in the Lord with all your heart. Okay. And I couldn't figure out a die that would fit my greeting that says, "Stay strong, my friend." Well, I went into my earth and texture dies and realized that it has that vase that, where did it go? I had it attached already. But the verse,
Is it between your...
oh, it's somewhere here in
No,
this
look
box.
between your inks. Look between your inks.
Oh, there it is. And there was my little glue dots that I was looking for. So this is actually the tall pot that comes with this set, the earth and texture dies. And I thought, turn it this way and it will fit my sentiment perfectly. So I'm going to use that because we always want to get more use out of our stamp sets than just what they're supposed to be used for. So here is the second card, and it's opens up like this. So it's a book fold card, and then it's a Z fold card, and it will set up like that. So what do you think of that, ladies? I like it. And it's not very hard because I'm going to show you another example and then tell you how that was made. All right, so with this card, you will start with a piece of paper that is 4 1/4 by 11 inches. You will then score it. And normally when we score, or when I score, I start scoring a certain way. And I'm going to show you that on my trimmer. Yes, that just a note would be a really good get well card. So would this one, because it would stand up. So here is my 4 1/4 by 11 sheet of paper. And I am going to start first by putting this in my trimmer, and I'm going to score it at the 5 1/2 mark so that gives me my center score line. Then I'm going to back it up where normally I move it forward. I'm going to back it up to 4 1/4. So 4 1/4, and I'm going to score it again. Okay, I've already scored this, so I don't want to score it again. Then you're going to back it up to the 2 1/8 mark. So that's the second line past the 2 inch, and you're going to score it again. Easy peasy. All right. So this is one of those cards that you could do just about anything on this. So we're going to start with our score, the 5.5 inch. And because this is a fun fold, we do want to burnish it really good. Then we're going to go ahead and fold over and burnish that score line from the 4 1/4. And then we're going to burnish the one that was at the 2 1/8. Okay. And actually, nope, that's the way it goes. All right, we're going to go ahead and glue this area down for our book fold. And you'll see how fast this card goes together. Then I'm using the tartan foil paper that's an online online exclusive. This is the Pretty Peacock. So you have little checks with white, and then you have where you have the glossy like Pretty Peacock. And that's what these 3 foils are. So you have it in Pretty Peacock, Copper Clay, and Pebbled Path. And I was going more for a masculine card, and that's why I chose the tartan foils. And as far as I know, it is still in the online exclusive section of the website. And I chose to do it in the Copper Clay. So here is our book fold card. We're going to go ahead and attach our foil paper. And I didn't want it to be so dark, so I did choose to use the small check with the white showing. And I'm only doing this just so that this part of it is done. And this little piece of the designer series paper measures 1 1/8 by 4 1/8, because our card is 4 1/2. No, it's not. It's 4 1/4. Ladies, I have been up since 2 o'clock this morning, and I did not get my afternoon nap. Then I'm going to take another piece of that, and this measures 2 by 4 1/8, and I'm going to put it on here. Now, when I watched the demonstrator that made this, she didn't put a piece of paper on the inside of hers, but I just thought it kind of finished it off. When I used to do painting crafts, wood pieces, and things like that, I never considered my work complete unless the back was painted and then it was complete. So because this part will show, I wanted it to have paper on it. Now I have a piece of copper clay that matches my card base. And this is going to be our flap, and it measures 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And we're going to do some stamping with our copper clay. Get my scratch paper here. And this is where those blob, I call them blob stamps, but they're the background stamps that you can use. And I am using the one that has little squares in it because it kind of matches that foiled paper. But I'm also using one that is just a random, whatever you want to call it, blob. And we are going to stamp in our copper clay. And I'm not going to stamp off. I'm going to just do tone on tone. And I am just going to randomly stamp, because it doesn't matter how you stamp it. Okay. Let's see maybe I did stamp off. I did. So we can't flip it over. So we're going to do both. stamp off and not stamp off. So we did a stamp off. We're going to do another full on. And it's just going to be able to give us that different texture look that we want. And that's what I'm kind of going for. It's just a fun texture. All right, so we've got that one. Now let's bring in our little squares. And I think we're going to do these more in the lighter color where I've stamped off. And we may put a full on, full strength. Oh, Daisy's dreaming. She's over here whimpering in her sleep. I kind of like that with the two dark splotches in each corner. All right, so we've just stamped our own background, and we have somebody in here that does a fabulous job of background, making her own background papers, and that is Cherie. She does an awesome job. I think I overthink it. I think that's what my problem is, that I just overthink it too much. So I'm done with those two stamps, and this is going to get our greeting. Let's stamp our inside. And I'm doing that on a piece of white, and it is 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. And I wanted my tree to be pretty peacock, or the top of my tree, my leaves. But I wanted my trunk to be the copper clay. So what I did was I just took some of my tape, and then I'm just going to stamp up my just the, yes, as soon as I can get my hands to work, the trunk. And I did stamp off on it, so it's not so bright. And I'm going to just stamp it off. And I didn't get any ink on my tape, so that's good. I don't have to worry about it. And I'm going to put this really pretty close to the bottom and to the left-hand side. Okay, so there is our trunk. Now I'm going to cover up the trunk, and I'm going to use the pretty peacock for our tree branches. And I tried it both ways, and I liked it second gen better than full gen. I thought the full gen was just too pow-wow. So I did it second gen, and then I just stamped right over that trunk. So see how it just kind of comes out real light? So I liked that. And this stamp set also has a little dirt mound on it, or in it. And I'm going to take that, and in the copper clay, we are going to add a little dirt mound so that it just doesn't look like that tree is just hanging out wherever. And again, I did second generation so that it wasn't so dark. And I just looked at where my trunk was. I kind of did it right over the bottom, because it doesn't really matter, because it, you know, the trees grow out of the ground. So there is our dirt mound. They don't have grass that grows there at their house, so I wished I didn't. Yeah, it's mulched. Okay, now on the front of my card, here is my greeting. Now I just have to find, because there it is. Here is my die cut that I cut out already. And we are going to stamp that in full strength copper clay. Make sure I've got it on the right side. I need that. Try to get this just as good in the middle as I can. And then I also took a finger dauber and I just put some of the copper clay on it. And I'm just kind of going around the edges because I didn't want this to be so stark white. I needed it to be toned down just a smidge. And really, I didn't notice this before, but there is a rounded edge to this. So we're going to just take and cut that off and just trim off the two ends to kind of match. Because I didn't notice that before, that's why it's a flower pot, but I still like the shape of this. And you can just trim it off a little. And I used to, all the time, I used to do this with my white card bases to give it some color so that it wasn't just so powwow white. So there is our greeting. And let's see. Oh, our inside saying. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, did I say that? We're going to use may the Lord bless you and keep you. Oops. Susie's doing it in the wrong color. Don't want that color. I want the pretty peacock. Now, you do have to watch what kind of a greeting you have in here for the inside, because you want to keep the greeting to the left, more or less, because if you don't, it's going to show when you put this in the card and put your flap on there, okay? So you don't have very much room to stamp a great big greeting. So that's why I got a greeting that did multi-lines and went up and down. And then if it's stamped over my tree a little bit, it didn't really matter. So there is our inside greeting. I love it. I love Pretty Peacock. But I really like copper clay, and I know it's only going to be in for another year, and that's going to make me really, really sad. Let's put this together now. So the first thing, we're going to go ahead and attach this to the inside of our card and then get that part over with. So that will go on the inside, just like so. Now we're going to fold this piece over because this is our for our gatefold, and I am going to put glue on this piece only. And I want to be kind of generous, but I don't want it oozing out my sides because that makes a mess. Then I'm going to take our piece that we stamped, and I'm going to line that up the best that I can so that it matches exactly. Not bad, Susie, not bad. And with the glue, it gives me a little bit of wiggle room because I am off just a little bit. We're gonna, you know that paper doesn't stretch? I've tried stretching it. It doesn't stretch very well because sometimes it's like, you're just a 1/16 of an inch off. Stretch for me, stretch. But it doesn't stretch. I don't understand why it won't stretch just a little 1/16 of an inch. But it won't. But I can fix it. card surgery. And whenever I have to pick up the paper, I do put down a little bit more glue. I know it's still got the glue tackiness on it, but I want to make sure that it is done correctly. So we'll go from this side maybe, so that I can get the top, the side, and the bottom all pretty well lined up, because paper doesn't stretch. There we go. And I'm just going to really rub that from the back side. All right. Picking the glue off my finger so I don't get it all over the place. All right. Now all we have left to do is put our greeting on. And so I am going to use my dimensionals. And, okay, so I learned this trick from Dorothy. Okay, can you believe that? I learned something from Dorothy. She is so frugal that she does not use whole dimensionals when they're the big ones. I'm surprised she doesn't cut the small ones in half too. But
I've tried.
she's tried, she said. But so then I'm just going to use I'm just going to use half of these dimensionals instead of using a whole one. That means I can use more and still have some for other projects. Whoops, that one didn't come off of there. I think she cuts hers all in strips, and then she doesn't have all that little paper. But this way I know that it's going to be all evened out, and it's not going to You're with Dorothy, huh, Cherie? Well, you know, I guess I've never cut the big ones in half unless I needed to have just a small space one. But once I seen her doing it, I thought, well, man, that sure saves the dimensionals. I'm going to place this down here at the bottom of our card. And my card flap just needs to stretch 1/32 of an inch. But I think because it's tone on tone, you really can't tell. And if you can, which I can, I am going to just take and trim off that 1/32 of an inch. That's all that I needed. See, that little teeny tiny piece, because it wouldn't stretch. Okay, my linen thread, because even though it might be for a guy, I think you can still use. Hi, Nanette, how are you? I am getting so excited about convention. Or on stage, I call it convention. I like to dress up the men's cards too, because I think that the twine just kind of adds a little something to it. And I'm going to tie a double bow using one piece of my linen thread, get the two ends lined up. I wish this would not curl so bad. It just, I do love the minis, but sometimes I have bigger things that I don't want to use quite so many minis on. So, all right, so now I'm just going to tie my bow. Watch it not work out, because of course I'm on camera tonight. I'm going to get my third hand, which is my tweezers, to pull that through like so. Oops. So now I am going to just, where are the tags? Where's my ends that I pulled over? It's what happens when you've got, oh, there it is. It only had 2 loops on it. But now I'm just going to kind of pull that one side that's just got the big loop on it. Tighten up that bow. And now I can take and trim off my little tails. And I'm going to use one of those little snot dots that come in the paper pumpkin. And I'm going to put it on the bottom of the... I'm the best at making bows. It's years of practice, Sterling, let me tell you. But I have found that I do like my bow maker. But sometimes it's just more of a hassle to get it out if I'm going to be filming. So I just take my chances and tie it by hand. All right. Now, did I? No, I did not. But I was going to. No, I don't guess I was. I wasn't going to put any more embellishments on this since it is for a guy. Or it could be for a guy. If you're sending it to a woman, then I would say, yeah, put some champagne rhinestones or some kind of gems on it. But here you have your bookbinding Z-fold. So let me get all of this stuff moved out of the way. Y'all just wouldn't believe the mess I have to clean up after every video that I do. Which, while I'm talking about that, next Thursday, the 29th, I have my Blue Star Mothers of America meeting. So I will not be live, but there will be a video that we'll post at 7 o'clock. You girls that are on YouTube, you may need to go over and get on my Facebook page to watch it. I'm going to start weaning myself away from StreamYard since Facebook's going to make it illegal to use a, third-party stream app. So here, let's see, what is Rosemary saying? I'm not seeing anyone else. Oh, go away.
She's not seeing anyone else, John.
Oh.
I don't know if you can see.
Well, I can
others.
see Anna. Anna and Rosemary, you're the only two that are on YouTube. If you want to see everybody's chat, then you need to go over to Facebook because that's where
you
the
only
most...
see Facebook chats.
Huh?
You only see Facebook chats on Facebook.
Yeah, if you go to Facebook, you'll only see the Facebook chats, but that's where most of my people go to is into my Facebook page. So it may be that I just kind of quit doing YouTube lives and upload my videos once I get them recorded like I used to do. So let me show you how simple and easy and tell you how simple and easy this card is to make. Okay, so 6:45, I thought I'd really like to show them another style of that book fold gate card or Z fold. So within 15 minutes, I pulled the paper and made this card. I didn't get it stamped. Okay, so I begged that I didn't get it completed. But this is using the daisy paper and the bubble bath. So I love this one. This could be a birthday card. It could be a get well card. I'm not sure what kind of a card I'll make this. But I thought that with that daisy paper, and I just took one of the dies and cut out with a circle that group of daisies that's on the bubble bath paper. So that, and like I said, I chose my paper, cut my dies, cut my paper, folded it, and I was done by what? 5 till? I was done by 5 till, and I started it at 1/4 till. So not hard at all, ladies. This is very easy to put together. I am hoping, crossing my fingers, I would like to post the dimensions and these pictures out on my blog. I have not updated it since December. It's like I don't know where January and February have gone, but you know what? They haven't been in my life. I have not had January and February. So, tell me tonight, ladies, which one do you think is your favorite? And if you can't choose a favorite, that's all right too. Thank you all for the compliments. You can subscribe if you're out on YouTube and you are watching the replay. Please subscribe and you'll be notified when I am going to go live again. Give me a thumbs up and a like, and that way that helps with the analyticals of YouTube, so that I can get more viewers. However, I have figured out that everybody seems to be going live now on Thursday nights. They didn't used to when I started doing mine. You like this one better, Rosemary, or is this your favorite one? I do. I really like the way that looks. And then when you set it up, I mean, it can just be set up and it is so pretty because you can actually see all of the layers in that. And I think that is really, thank you, Cherie. That's what Anna said, that my video was very clear tonight. And I didn't do anything different.
It's the provider, guys.
So I really think it's our internet provider. When they're having mess ups, then that's when I get messed up. So, all right, ladies. Well, remember, 10 o'clock Saturday morning, coffee, chat, and a card. I have a new sketch for you this week that's going to be fun and exciting. So I hope you all can join me at 10 o'clock. Bring your favorite beverage. Mine, of course, will be coffee, and it will be in my new mug that I got from a friend for Valentine's Day. You're welcome, Sterling. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. And Charlene and Cherie and Pat and Annette, Anna and Rosemary. I am just so thrilled that you all spent the last hour with me. I appreciate that, and it's been fun. So we'll see you on Saturday, 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Coffee, chat, and a card. Bring your questions, bring your ideas, and let's see if we can't have some fun. Bye. Oh, and Matthew's on. Well, hello, Matthew. I know you're just probably giggling at Miss Sue, aren't you? All right, everybody. Bye. Have a great weekend.